gonna stay level. Am I in frame? I don't know. I'm using a cell phone. Can't no viewfinder, so I can't see. What's happening? Randy here with CMT Outdoors. And how do you start an argument on the internet? Make a statement, form an opinion, and wait. Yeah, I'm a smoker. I'll be smoking during this video. So a while back, Justin Wolfe over at Grierwolfe. Well, that's a hard word to say, at least for me. Grierwolfe. You know the man. Good stuff. He did a video about Bushcraft confessions, and in that video, it was I don't know if I'll call it a rant, but he made some strong statements about what I call holier-than-thou bushcrafters. My way or the highway. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And apparently what sparked this off was a well-known bushcrafter on YouTube. Been on a TV series. Had purchased and used a bag of pre-made tinder. And apparently there's people out there that took issue with it. Why? Why? Like Justin said, it's a book in a bag. Why can't you use that to your knowledge, to expand your knowledge, and do nothing but benefit yourself? I mean, I'm gonna light my cigarette now. Why did people take issue with that? Have they fallen into bushcraft doctrine so much that their minds are closed? I don't understand. It's beyond me. Apparently, my intelligence level is so low that I am strictly incapable of locking myself into a bushcraft doctrine and following the rules of what I learned. I gotta question anybody that's not willing to learn something new. If you're not willing to expand your mental toolbox, I'll worry about that. Here's an example. I love Morris. I have several. I have one around my neck and another larger one that you've seen in videos. I love this blade. It's a rat tail. It's a classic too. I baton with this. A rat tail. I baton with it all the time. Excuse me. And it's not broken. It hasn't broken. Because I took the time to expand my mental toolbox and learned how to baton a rat tail tang knife. I have a Condor Dundee Bowie. I wouldn't baton this with a baton as large as I would use on a Dundee Bowie. That's just stupid. You're asking for it to be broken. I learned how to use a rat tail tang. I use them all the time. So why wouldn't you, or why wouldn't they, rather, I don't want to single anybody out, why wouldn't the people who took issue with this bushcrafter using a pre-made tinder bag, why are they not willing to expand their mental toolbox? I mean, but my best thought is they're keyboard bushcrafters. They bought the kit, they bought the knife, and some of you out there, you can tell their blades are not chewed up, they're not used. There's no patina on it, be it I don't know if you can see that or not. There's no patina on their blades, be it purposely or accidentally from use. They're perfect. No offense to some of you who may be watching this who do, but They more than likely live in a big city, and to put it more on my point, they only get to the woods once a month on a camping trip with a tent, or even an RV, and they call that bushcrafting when they've never actually crafted anything out in the woods, or probably not even seen any. Sorry, I got my ADD kicking. I'm watching Clash of the Titans. Good movie. Uh, they probably never even crafted anything in the woods, nor been around someone who has. Now I realize I'm speaking from a jaded perspective because I literally spend 365 days of the year in the woods. As you can see behind me, I'm built in the midst of building a small cabin. I live on 20 acres in the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma. Uh, I'll give you a little bit more background as to where my skill set comes from. I was homeless for a year and a half, living off the streets, living out in the woods, doing what I could to, I'm going to use the word, survive. Okay? That's where my opinion is jaded compared to somebody who just sits behind a keyboard all day. I actually had to do it. My skill set was tested. So, that was a big ass scorpion. Good movie. My skills were put to the test, and they got me here today to make this video to you, to give you my opinion on a bushcraft confession. And, well, no, not on a confession. I'll make that confession in a minute, and you may be surprised. But to give my opinion on this video. Personally, I think Justin made excellent points. You know, I worry about the man who calls himself or woman. I worry about the person who calls himself an expert. There's always more to learn. You know, I'm 34 years old. I've been, what do they call it? A doctorate in woodsy knowledge. I've had and am working on that for 25 years now. Not straight through, but off and on. And then when the year and a half I had no place to call home, I learned a lot. I'll just put it that way. I learned a whole lot. So, you know, I commented on that video and I said something along the lines of, you think outside the box and then use the box to get my fire going. I'm of a mind to where you should think outside the box, and you should always be willing to try something new. It may be better, it may be worse, it may be faster, it may be slower. Point is, you will never know until you try. And I see a lot of people out there who apparently just, they don't want to try. I don't know. Like I said, if you're not willing to learn a new skill by trying a new product, I have to question it. And you know, this gentleman, he has a very popular channel on YouTube, and he was trying out this pre-made tinder box or tinder bag, apologies. What did he do? What became of it? Well, obviously he got some flack. That's why this video and many others have been made. But on the other side of that coin, he exposed his viewers to something they may not have known. He exposed his viewers to a new education source. You know, a person can be watching that video right now and be like, hey, that's pretty cool. Excuse me. I didn't know that was on the market. I'm going to pick that up and try it. And then this person may be one of those city folk, as I call them, who've never, excuse me, got some indigestion, who's not been out in the woods much, and they could, for whatever reason, not have access to too much knowledge. Well, if they were to pick up that bag and open it, oh, here's some fatwood, here's a cattail. So this is what it looks like when I harvest it. Boom. If they don't have that bag and they're out on their own in an actual survival situation, they can retain that knowledge and know and remember from that bag, okay, this is what tinder looks like. This is what I need to help get my fire started. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Right? I'm just kind of rambling about it, but for fuck's sake. Derp. Now on to the confession portion. Like I said, I've been doing this for 25 years off and on. And over the past 5 years or so, I've gone more to a primitive aspect of it. Learning my plants, learning how to make things, natural cordage, what have you. Fashioning a knife from a rock, doing some flint knapping, whatever. My confession is, and it's probably one that most people have, is I'm 34 years old, and I'll be out in my camp in the middle of nowhere, like I said, middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, and I'll just burst awake in the middle of the night, afraid of the dark. The boogeyman factor. Well, obviously, once I get calmed down and I realize what's happening, it's not so much. But every now and then, that primitive emotion of what's in the dark, what's going to get me, it becomes overwhelming. Now, there's that confession, but on the other side of it is it's grounded in a little bit of reality. There's wild hog out here, mountain lion. You know, I'm not in a neighborhood with houses around me. I am a little speck in the middle of the grand wilderness. I am on the food chain out here. So, you know, the fears are grounded somewhat in reality. And, hey, there's a crazy man. Burns his hand. Weird. Sorry. ADD. But, you know, take a moment, step outside the Bushcraft doctrine, and see something as what else it can be other than what you perceive as wrong. You know, step back and think, how many skills have I missed just because I didn't agree with what the person was doing? You know? It, give them the benefit of the doubt. It may, open your mind to new possibilities. There's that word, open mind. Hope I don't offend nobody. Anybody. Okay, I'm hoping to offend just one person. Get them talking about it. Get it in their mind. Get them thinking about it. And the next thing you know, they might just have to see. But anyway, yeah, just what are we taught when we're little? Think before we speak. A lot of us, myself included, have failed at that. So, you know, just give it a go before you say no. See what happens. Could be better, faster, more efficient. That's pretty much all I got on this video. I tend to babble. If you're a subscriber, you know, I just kind of trail off into my own tangents sometimes on a video, and where I start speaking incredibly fast and run on sentences and never pause to take a break or take a breath or anything like that. Yeah. But anyway, I just want to throw this out there. Not every solution to a problem is wrong. If it works, it works. And you may learn something from it. Alright, this has been Randy with CMT Outdoors, and hope everybody has a good night, good day, whenever you're watching this, and we'll catch you in the woods.